Welcome to the next lecture of the CBNST. In today's lecture, we will talk about the another method to solve algebraic and transcendental equation. In the previous lecture, we had talked about bisection or Bolzano method, and in today's lecture, we will talk about regular falsi method. This is also known as method of false position. So let's start. Basically, this method is the improvement of the bisection method. It is a little bit similar. The concepts are similar. Obviously, the IVT theorem that we have used into the bisection theorem will also be used here into this regular falsi method. So if you have not seen that bisection methods videos, please go and watch first that bisection method. So it will be easier for you to understand this method. So let's say if fx is a continuous function, let's say first condition is fx has to be continuous, so it's a continuous function in an interval. The interval is a comma b, so it has to be continuous. This is the first condition, such that the value of f at a and f at b are of opposite sign. So this is the second condition. The value of f at a and the value of f at b are to be opposite sign. So this is our second condition. So one is the function has to be continuous and in an interval a comma b, and at both the ends f at a and f at b the value of the function must be of opposite sign. So let's see, let's have this as a curve. Let's see, this is a curve, you can see, and you can see that let's say if this is a, then if we draw a perpendicular, so it will intersect the curve at this point. So this point will be called as f at a, and let's say if this is a b, and if we draw a perpendicular from this point, it will intersect the curve at this point, and this will be known as f at b. As we can see that this curve is represented, obviously this will be represented by f of x, the curve is represented by f of x, and this curve do not have any gap, so this is continuous in between a and b. And we can also see that the values of this a and b are of opposite side, as at a, this f at a is at negative side, so you can see this is negative, and at point b, excuse me, at point b the value of function is on the positive axis, so this is positive. So the initial conditions are satisfying in this. Then the regular falsi method says that there exists an approximate root between a and b. Obviously the formula to get that approximate root is different from the bisection method. If you remember, in the bisection method we used to find this as a plus b by 2 by halving the interval, but here we do not use this formula. The formula for regular falsi method is this. This is the first approximate loop. Let's say x1 is equal to a dot f at b minus b dot f at a whole divided by f at b minus f at a. Why this formula? Let's see. Because in this regular falsi method, from this point a to point b, we draw a chord. So let's say if we draw a chord from this f at b to this f at a, so this is a chord drawn according to the regular falsi method. This chord is intersecting the axis at some point. This intersection point now becomes our next approximation. So now this will behave as, let's say, x1, and from this point if we draw a perpendicular, so this perpendicular will cut the curve at some point, and this point will be at fx1. So this is our new approximated root. Obviously, just like in the bisection method, we have to choose our new interval. We will take this new point 1, and from the previous 2 points a and b we have to choose one depending upon the opposite side. So let's say at x1 the function's value of f of x1 is negative, so we need to choose a point at which the function's value is positive. So we can see at point b the function's value is positive, so our new interval will be x1 comma b, right? So our new interval will be x1 comma b according to the condition that f at a and f at b the signs has to be opposite. So our new interval becomes x1 and b. So now we can see that this is our new point behaving. So now the next chord will be drawn in between these 2 points. So B and this, the new x1. So f at B. From f at B, we will draw a chord to f at x1. So in this second iteration, again this chord will intersect the x-axis at some point. This will be our next approximation root. So let's call it x2. Again, in x2, we will draw a perpendicular. This will cut the curve at some point, which will be known as f at x2. We have to choose our new interval. Obviously, you can see that the new interval will be again x2 and b. Why? Because at x2, obviously we take the new point. So we'll select the x2 by default. And from x1 and b, we have to choose one depending upon the size. So as we can see at x2, the function's value is negative. So we'll choose b because at b, function's value is positive. So our next new approximation will be x2 comma b. In the same way, we'll continue with our iterations, and you can see they are trying to converge towards our actual root. So this is our actual root, can be considered as c, and at this point the function's value is f at c. So we are basically converging towards our actual root. So we will be able to find the approximation root near to the value. So let's see with an example how this regular falsi method works. So let me erase this and have a function, and we will see that how this is working. So let me erase this also, and I'll just keep the formula here so that I'll be using that formula to get the new approximation. This is equal to f at b minus f at a, both are multiplied by b a divided by f at b minus f at e. So this is the formula for the approximation. Now we'll be making the field wheel. So we'll take A, we'll take B, we'll take C, and now we'll take f at A, we'll take f at B, and we will take f at C. In this method, we have to consider the values also of f at A, f at B, and f at C. Like in the bisection method, we were not much worried about the values of f at A and f at B because we were not using them anywhere. We were just taking care of their signs, but in this method, we have to take these values also. So let's see if we have a question. The fx is x to the power 5 minus x square minus 2. And we need to find the best approximated root till, let's say we have to perform 4 iterations. So let's do 4 iterations. As I have already told you, the solution will depend on 2 things, whether the question will ask you to perform 4 iterations, 5 iterations or 10 iterations, or it will ask you the solution till the accurate decimal places. You have to give the accuracy till 3 decimal places or 4 decimal places and so on. So in this question we will do the question up till 4 iterations. So let's start with the first one. Obviously we do not have the interval, so with the help of the hit and trial method we need to find out the interval. Let's substitute in this 0 first. So this will be f at 0. We can see this is minus of 2, negative. On substituting 1, let's see, this will be 1 minus 2. Again, this is negative. So at 0 and at 1, both values we have the negative values. So let's substitute 2. At 2, we can see this is 2 to the power 5 minus 2 square minus of 2. So we have the scientific calculator and we can do the calculation using that calculator. So this is coming to a positive value. So we have this interval. So we have the interval 1 comma 2. As we can see, at 1 this is negative and at 2 this is positive. So we have got our initial interval. We can write in the first iteration that A is 1 and B is, this is 2. And now obviously to calculate C, this is the formula to calculate C, the approximation. In that calculation we need the values of f at B as well as f at A. So we'll have to write these values now. So you can see in and this f at 1, that is minus of 2. F at 1 is minus of 2. So here I'll write minus of 2, and f at b, this is 2. So I'll write 2. Okay, so we have got values for the first iteration. Let us calculate the c. Let us calculate our first approximated root by using this formula. So now x1 will be equal to a. What is a? This is 1 into f at b. What is f at b? This is 2. This is 2. Minus b. What is b? This is 2. Cross f at a. What is f at a? This is minus 2. Whole divided by f at b minus f at a. What is f at b? You can see this is 2. Minus, what is f at a? F at a is minus of 2. So this will be minus of 2. So we can use the scientific calculator and we can perform the calculation. And let me see what is the answer of this. This is coming 1.5. So our first approximation is coming 1.5. So we'll write here 1.5. So we have got this is first root. Now using this first root, what we have to do, we have to go to the further iterations. For that, we need to find out the function's value at this f at 1.5. So what is the value of f of x at 1.5? So for that we'll have to substitute this. This is 1.5 to the power 5 minus 1.5 to the power 2 minus 2. Let me see in the scientific calculator that what is the value of the function at 1.5. So we can see the function's value at 1.5 is minus 0.875. So this is minus 0.875. So this is negative. And now we have to consider this value also. So this is minus 0.875. F at c is coming minus 0.875. Now the next step, selection of the new interval. This is important. Obviously we take our new point. So this is c. We'll take c. And from the older 2 points, we'll have to take the point at which function's value is opposite in sign. This is negative. So we can see this is also negative. So we will not take this. This is positive. So we'll take this. That means we'll take the point B and we'll take the point C. So we can say we'll take the point B and we'll take the point C. And we'll write it. And remember, we always write the smaller value onto the left hand side. So we have taken 1.5 on the left hand side and 2 on the right hand side. Again, now this is just the iteration. Now we'll do whatever we have already done. We'll do the things again. So now we need to calculate this x2. How we can calculate this x2? The given formula here. So now this this is x2 will be a into f of b. Now what is a? This is 1.5 into f of b. In this case, what is this f of b? This is 2. Let me rewrite these values also. So this is f of b is 2 minus, what is b? b is 2 cross, what is f of a? So this is minus 0.875 minus 0.875 divided by f of b. This is 2 minus 0.875. So in this way we will be able to find out our next approximation. This is x2. Let me see what is our next approximation, that is x2. It is coming 1.652. 1.652. So we can see that this c is coming 1.652. This is our second approximation. And now at this approximation we need to find out the value of the function. So we'll substitute this 1.652 into this equation 1.652, and let me see what is the value of the function at 1.652. So f at 1.652, this will be 1.652 to the power 5 minus 1.652 to the power 2 minus 2. So we'll use the scientific calculator and we'll find out what is the function's value at this is coming minus 0.2207. This is minus 0.2207. So this new value is minus 0.2207. 0.2207. We can see that this is negative. We will write this minus 0.2207. We'll always choose the new value. And from the previous two, we can see which one is the positive value. So the positive value is this. So we'll take point B and point C. So we'll take point B and point C. We always write the smaller value on the left hand side. So this is 1.652 and this will be 2. Now f at A will be minus. We simply copy from here. This is 0.2207 and this is 2. Now for the third iteration, we need to calculate C. We'll use the same formula. To calculate C. Let me see what is C in the third iteration. That is, what is the value of x3. So the x3 is coming 1.6865. So this is 1.6865. So this is C. We have calculated from this formula. We had the values of A, B, f at A and f at B. We simply replace the values in this and we'll get x3. So this is x3. And now at x3 we need to find out the function's value. So we'll get the function's value at x3. So this will be f at 1.6865. Quickly we'll be using the scientific calculator, save our time. So this is, let me see, what is f at 1.6865. This is minus 0.0474. Minus 0.0474. So this is a negative value. So we'll write minus 0.0474. So this is 0. Right. And as always, for the fourth iteration, we will be choosing this new value. And you can see that this is negative. Again, the positive value will be taken. So the new points will be B and C in this case. So now we have here 1.6865 and here we have 2. And as this is the last iteration according to our question, we have to do it till 4 iterations only. So we need to calculate C only here. So that will be our final approximated root. So just to calculate C, we'll use again this formula, and using this formula we need to find out x4. So let me see what is the x4. We'll simply use the calculator to find out the value. So this is 1.6938. Here coming the C is 1.6938. And as we have done 4 iterations, so this will be our final approximated root of this given question. So this is our approximated solution for x to the power 5 minus x squared minus 2. This will be C. So this is how we can solve the algebraic and transcendental equations using regular falsi method or method of false position method. Obviously this is a better method than the bisection. Will give you a faster convergence. That means you will get a better answer in lesser number of iterations as compared to the bisection method. So that's it for the today's lecture. In the next lecture we'll talk about one more method to solve these algebraic and transcendental equations. Till then, thank you so much.